Alright, today sixth graders we will be learning about line plots. And at the core, what a line plot is basically getting a picture of data on a number line. And so as you can see here, I already have a number line. And notice my number line does not have to start at 0. It does not have to have 0 in it. A lot of students I know get confused by that when they initially see it. What you're going to be doing is simply putting an X or putting a mark above the correct number for each number in your data set. For example, if you are giving, let's say, the numbers 21, 23, 25, 23, 19, and 21, you would go ahead and put a mark above those, and that mark would simply be an X. So for in this case 21, we'd have marked there, 23 would be here, 25 would be here, 23 would be here, 19 would be here, and 21 would be here. And what you should be able to see there is one thing I want to make very, very clear is, I'm going to zoom in here for just a second. As you see these X's, you need to make them the same size. And when you're doing this by hand, these things have to be as close to the same size as possible. I understand you're not a computer, you're not a robot, but keep those the same size, because if I were to get the next set of data that were to be something like 22, and I were to go ahead and put a X that was that big, it would be very misleading. It would look like there are the same number of data points for 21, 22, and 23, but in reality is there's only one X on 22. But because I made that unfairly unequal, it really throws off the data set. So as you can see here, it goes ahead when I have it the same size, and it's pretty clear that 21 and 23, there are more than 22 and 19 and 25. Okay, we're going to go on here to the next page, and now we actually have a data set, and you can see all my data values are right over here in the top left corner. A bunch of 3s, 2s, 0s, and 1s. And what I want you to do is to go ahead and make your own line plot. Go ahead and try it yourself, so go ahead and pause the video at this time. I want you to go ahead and try to do it on a scratch piece of paper, and in just a few seconds we will come back and check to see if you got the right answer. Okay, so this is the correct answer that we got here for our data set. As you can see, 2 has the highest value with 8. So there is a frequency of 8 here for the number 2. You should have 6 X's over number 1. You should have 4 zeros, 4 3s, and excuse me, 2 4s. And what that allows us to do is easily see the mode as a picture, so it makes more sense to understand what the mode is when we are looking at it with our data sets. One other thing that we are now allowed to do is we're able to find other things that we before probably wouldn't be able to do with just a picture. For example, we should be able to now find the median, which again is the middle of our data set. And we're going to go about doing that the same way we do it before, but before we would cross off numbers, and now we are going to cross off X's. And so what you need to do is always start at the top, and we're going to cross off 1 from the lowest number and 1 from the highest number. In this case, our lowest number was the number 0, and our highest number was the number 4 in our data set. And what we're doing is, if we were to put these in order, these numbers, our data set in order from least to greatest, you would see you'd have 4 zeros way on the left and 2 4s way on the right. And so what we're going to do is cross off the X's, and we're going to go from top to bottom. And what that's going to allow us to do is work our way towards the middle. So as you can see, I have 4 cross-offs here on the left and 4 cross-offs on the right. We're going to cross off another one here. So we have 5 and 5, 6 and 6, 7 and 7, 8 and 8, 9 and 9, 10 and 10, and now we are stuck with just a few numbers here in the middle, and we no longer have to work towards the middle. We already can see no matter how many X's we cross off, no matter if we cross them off from the top or from the bottom, or how we work these in, we are going to be left with a median of 8. So what's really cool about line plots is they will immediately show you the median. Another thing that we can find with those, with line plots like this, is simply the range. And we can find the range the same way we could before. We take the biggest number, in this case is going to be 4, and we're going to subtract the smallest number, again over in this case it's 0, and we're going to have our range value already set for us. So again, we have the median of 8, the range of 4, and as I said just a few seconds ago, kind of before these, is we do have the mode, and the mode is very easy to see. It is which number has the greatest number of occasions, or which numerical value occurs the most often in our data set. In this case, it would be simply the number 2, because that has the most x's in it, and we found that earlier when we said there were 8 as opposed to any other. So really cool stuff that you can do with these with line plots is, as a picture, you can do the same kinds of things we were doing in chapter 11, and they're very valuable with that. Okay, 6th graders, this is the last problem I want you to go ahead and try on your own. This is we'll call this one example 2 instead of example 3, so we'll go ahead and fix that real quick. And what I'd like for you to do is, here's your data set. I want you to go ahead and make a line plot. I already have the number line set for you. And I want you to go ahead and find the mean, median, mode, and range of the line plot. So I don't want you to change the numerical order up here, but I want you to go ahead and make a line plot. And from the line plot, I want you to try and find these 4 things, and we'll go ahead and check it. So go ahead and pause the video right now, and then when you come back, we will have it checked. Okay, 6th graders, at this time, go ahead and check your answer and just kind of see how you did. And as you notice that our median is 7.5, what that means is when we crossed off, we got stuck with one circle. I made circles this time instead of X's at the number 7, and one of them at the number 8. And again, what we had to do was simply find the middle ground between 7 and 8. So we had to do the average of that. So in other words, we had the number 7 and we had the number 8, and they were both stuck. We couldn't cross off anymore, or else we would cross off all of our numbers. So we needed to go ahead and add those together and divide by 2, which would get you 15 divided by 2, which when you divide that out will get you 7.5. So I know that one's a little confusing at first, but I do think the other ones you should be able to get, and it should make a lot of sense to you. So hopefully you're doing really well on this, and this is a good check for that.